West Surrey Racing and, of course, Matt Jackson, the privateer, have got the cars working fine.
So here we go then on the 2 warm-up laps. So they'll have 2 laps here to get some tyre temperature. Let's take a look at the grid for round 1 then. On pole position, it's Colin Turkington for Team RAC, alongside him Jason Plato for Seat Sport. Then Darren Turner lines up for Seat in 3rd place on the grid with Fabrizio Giovanardi in the brand new Vauxhall Vectra. His teammate Tom Chilton is next up on the 3rd row of the grid with Matt Jackson, leading privateer on the grid. He's made the move up from the Seat Championship and starred in qualifying. Another youngster next up, that's Tom Onslow Cole, just 19 years old, making his debut for Team RAC, and alongside him the experienced Mike Jordan, a race winner last year. On row number 5, it's the reigning champion Matt Neal and his brand new Civic Type R, and alongside him Adam Jones makes his return. This year he's racing a Seat. Next up on row number 6, we've got another new boy, Matt Allison, the reigning British GTC champion. Alongside him, Gareth Howell, a race winner when he was driving for Team Halfords last year. Behind him is Gordon Shedden. Now, Gordon Shedden lining up on the 7th row in the other of the new Team Halford Civics, but they did have problems in qualifying. Jason Hughes in the MG powered by bioethanol lines up alongside. Then on row number 8, we've got Chris Stockton in the BTC Racing Lexus. Alongside him, David Pinkney in the new A-Tech Team Alpha 156, brand new car there. Behind him, it's then Martin Bell. He's back for a 2nd season in his BMW, the 6-cylinder version. Alongside him is Erkut Kizilimak in one of last year's Astra Sport hatches. Then Fiona Leggett makes her return. She's on the 10th row of the grid. This year she's racing an MG. Alongside her, a new boy, Simon Blankley. He's mortgaged his house to come racing the British Touring Car Championship. Behind him, we've got John George. He's back. Good to see him running with T8 Motorsport. And Jim Pocklington, another new boy with his BMW. And now we're getting towards the back of the grid. Nick Leeson lines up in another of the BTC Racing Lexuses, and another new car. This is interesting, the first diesel in the British Touring Car Championship, and it's Rick Kerry in the BMW 1 Series. At the back is Richard Marsh with another of the Alfa Romeo 156. He had some problems in qualifying, but that's how they line up for the first race. And there they are, Tim, getting some tyre temperature up already. Matt Jackson weaving around almost on the grass.
Well, he was on the grass there. I've been watching, he's been really working hard at getting some temperature in that car, as the others have. But the other thing is, of course, 26-car grid. By the time Colin Turkington comes round onto the grid, the others are still coming down from Graham Hill. So he's going to have to wait a little bit.
Well, let's see how long they will have to sit there. You can notice that Colin Turkington is leading them around quite slowly. He's quite a tremendous qualifier, Turkington. He didn't get any pole positions last year, but the year before, when he was racing the Astra Sport hatch, he had 3 pole positions. We always know his pace in qualifying, but he's also proven himself to be quite a hard racer. Is he going to be defensive enough? That's the question with someone like Jason Plato behind.
He'll be trying very hard to win this race, but Plato's got his eye on the long-term goals, winning the championship. He won't want to take risks, and you're right, he is a demon qualifier, Turkington. I spoke to his former teammate Rob Collard yesterday while we were watching qualifying. He said, I don't know how he does it. He always managed to find some extra speed in qualifying. That's the mark of a great driver.
It is. It's fantastic to see, and Colin Turkington with the opportunity then to take BMW, a BMW win for the first time in a long time in the British Touring Car Championship. He is in the orange Team RAC car on pole position. It's Jason Plato lined up at a slight angle on the outside of the front row. Several cars still moving into place at the back of the grid. Remember, the 2nd row, we've got Darren Turner in the 2nd of the Seats, and then the 1st of the new Vauxhall. It's the Vauxhall Vectra. It's a big car, but it's a fast car, and Fabrizio Giovanardi and Tom Chilton will both be trying to do something with it. We're all set for the first race of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship of 2007. Away we go, and it's a poor start from the BMW, a terrible start from poleman Turkington, and Jason Plato takes the lead towards Paddock Hill Bend, and Turkington now under pressure from the Vauxhall of Fabrizio Giovanardi, who gets turned by Darren Turner through Paddock Hill Bend, saves it and recovers.
Yeah, and Matt Jackson round the outside of the whole lot in the white BMWs up to 3rd place.
Fantastic effort by Matt Jackson all through Druids. Let's see if they... Oh no, we've got one of the MGs off. That's Jason Hughes into the gravel. He got tapped by somebody, couldn't see who it was. Still Darren Turner, now Tom Chilton battling side by side, and Turner ends up on the grass this time. British Touring Cars is certainly up and running, isn't it? But Colin Turkington was not fast off pole position. Look at Matt Neal, he's in that little group as well.
Yeah, we're going to have a safety car though, because we've got a car turned around. It's the MG of Fiona Leggett on the start finish line. These guys, there it is. Fiona's only just getting out the cars, and they're coming down full chat down the start finish line. Don't know what happened there. We'll have to look at a replay, but definite safety car.
Jason Plato leads, Turkington in 2nd. Matt Jackson is in third place, and Tom Onslow Cole is in fourth. So the other BMWs have all got off the line except the pole man. So the rear-wheel drive advantage off the line, which we expected, Tim, was shown by Matt Jackson and Tom Onslow Cole. But what happened? Look, this is what happened to Fiona. Look in the middle of the picture.
Look at the right-hand side. Look at the right-hand side. Urquhart coming across. Oh, a little touch, and then the old tank slapper side to side as the light weight at the back of the car takes over and swaps the car around.
That was quite a hard hit, wasn't it? And it just shows you how quickly they're accelerating off the grid. Let's see if we can. That was a terrible start by Colin Turkington. I don't know if we're going to get a view of that accident. Not so much, but look at Matt Jackson go around the outside.
Yeah, the Plato and Giovanardi already clashing at the first corner of the year. They were the two guys that everyone thought was going to be battling for the championship. They've hit each other at the first corner.
Well, this was some more of the onboard action. That was Turner and Chilton going through Graham Hill Bend, and Darren Turner ended up on the grass. Well, it's all drama in the first lap here at Brands Hatch, but out of the race already is Fiona Leggett, and Diana is with her in pit lane.
Fiona, obviously disappointed to be out of the race so quickly. What happened?
Well, I got a really good start. Someone stalled on the line. I went down the inside. There was three of us next to each other, and unfortunately, Kurt just drove straight into the side of me. I had nowhere to go, spun me around into the pit lane. So, not very happy at the minute, to be honest.
Is there much damage to the car?
I don't know. I didn't actually see, so I just got ushered off straight away. But I don't know. That might have taken me out for the full weekend. So we'll have to wait and see what the damage is.
Well, let's hope not, Fiona. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diana. That's a great shame. I spoke to Fiona this morning. She was a little bit nervous before going into this first race. What she needed was a confidence-boosting run, and that's exactly what she didn't get, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and a disaster for the Cartwheel team with her teammate and team boss Jason Hughes stuck in the gravel. Here we go, looking up at the top here. Watch at the background. There's Jason Hughes on the right-hand side coming up. He's just out of shot on the right now. Gets spun out, I think, by Martin Bell. Actually, just the lightest to contact as they closed in towards the apex of the corner. A racing incident, I'm sure, but obviously the car on the outside ends up going in, getting beached. And we do have snatch vehicles now, these big tractors that pull the cars back so that we can get resuming racing as quickly as possible. But what a scenario we've got at the front. 3 BMWs in the top 4.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start for them, isn't it? But Jason Plato is where he wants to be for SEAT. Darren Turner in the other car somewhat further down after that run onto the grass. Let's see what the little start looked like from Giovanardi's point of view. He was on the second row. That's Turkington making the slow getaway, of course, and Giovanardi goes to the outside.
Yeah, but Plato's on his inside. Taps there, a little touch there. Giovanardi floors the throttle to bring the front end round. He's lucky not to be collected by another car, but does, of course, lose a load of positions.
Yeah, that was Turner, I think, wasn't it? That was Turner that he had that bit of contact with. Then up into Druids, and look, Mike Jordan had a better run on him, so he was able to nip past as well.
Yeah, you're right, it was Turner, just slightly further back. But then Turner gets done over by Giovanardi's teammate here, who does exactly the same back to him, and he's off. So Giovanardi actually regains a couple of places.
And that was how Tom Onslow Cole.
That's on Onslow Cole,
yeah. That was how he managed to gain that place, so we wondered how good a start he'd made. Well, that was how he managed to nip past Tom Chilton, because Chilton had effectively been held up in the incident with Darren Turner. So it's Jason Plato in the SEAT who leads. Second place is Colin Turkington in the BMW. Then it's Matt Jackson in third place. Tom Onslow Cole's up there as well. And, well, we're going to have to see how the restart goes. The lights are off now on the safety car, and we're going to be able to watch them restart. They've still got a good half a lap to go before we get them back up to speed. 7th place for Mike Jordan, 8th place for Fabrizio Giovanardi, as you saw, and those guys have got a bit of work to do now. There's the safety car though, lights off on the top there, and that means that they will be racing once they come back across the line, and that's why everybody is busy weaving around on the track to keep some tyre temperature and get the tyres in best shape for restarting this race. Now watch Plato, clever driver. He will try and bunch them up and then go without giving Turkington the opportunity. Let's see what happens here. The safety car leaving it quite late to peel in, and now they accelerate. They're not allowed to lift off or brake once they've started to accelerate, and off they go. Accelerating all the way, just running a bit wide there was Gareth Howell. We're racing once again at Brands Hatch. It's Plato who leads in the SEAT. Turkington on the attack. Jackson running in third place, then Tom Onslow Cole, and then the first of the Vauxhalls chasing them through Paddock Hill Bend, and Turkington again looking pretty close to the back of Plato as they head up towards the hairpin, but Plato holds it tight, and Matt Jackson looks at going around the outside.
Yeah, Jackson in a safe third. The BMWs look to have got their tyres warmed up. Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle further back. Giovinardi slipping back down the order. It looks like something's broken.
Yeah, it does. He's going very slowly coming down the hill. We'll have a look at that. Plato leads Turkington. Jackson. Matt Jackson is the white and black BMW. He's the youngster who's moved up into British touring cars for the first time. He's helped by former British touring car champion Chris Hodgetts, and he's running strongly in third. Behind him is Tom Onslow Cole, and off has gone David Pinkney in the Alpha 156.
Yeah, he's just rejoining at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend there. Obviously lost it going down the hill somehow. But great close race at the front. Very close race. Chilton's looking very racy up behind, just locking the wheels up, breaking in there behind Tom Onslow Cole. And Matt Neal, the champion, he's there, back up there. Look at him behind Tom Chilton. That car's not working badly for guesstimated settings in its first race.
We're on board with Matt Neal here in the Team Halfords car, this brand new car that's only done a little tiny bit of testing before this event. Everything was last minute, and yet you can trust a champion to be running somewhere near the front, and that's what he's doing. He's on the back of this lead group, if you like. Jason Plato just beginning to ease out a slight advantage, but this new Civic is looking good behind Tom Chilton, who's in the new Vauxhall as well. So many new cars to deal with this year, but it's a car that we've known and seen go fast here at Brands Hatch in the past at Leeds. It's the Seat of Jason Plato, just easing away now a little bit from Colin Turkington.
Yeah, so he seems to have found his feet, and once Plato gets into his race rhythm, he's very, very difficult to beat, and he seems to be getting going now. But don't be surprised to see the BMWs come back maybe a little bit later. But if Jackson puts the pressure on Turkington, then that'll obviously draw them back, further back from Plato.
What a dream result this would be. Oh, Chilton gets a bit sideways in the background, runs over the grass, loses the place to Matt Neal. Matt Neal gets a place there because Chilton just was a bit wide, and now he's under attack from Mike Jordan as well, and he's gone wide through Surtees.
Yeah, he's looked like a bit of a handful with that car, and Matt Neal, ever the opportunist, picking up places, picking up points. He'll get as much as he can from these early races and just score points and hope that the car comes good later in the year. And here's Mike Jordan alongside on the inside, and with a quick car he's going to have that inside place into paddock. Chilton drops down another place.
He does. There's nothing he can do to fight off the John Guest car as Mike Jordan heads up the hill out of Paddock Hill Bend. And now we'll go chasing after reigning champion Matt Neal in a car, of course, that Matt Neal knows pretty well from his title-winning days of the last 2 years. Let's take another look. This is what happened. Chilton made the mistake.
Yeah, Chilton got his right-hand side wheels actually on the dirt down the hill, trying to take the widest line. So as he turned in on the brakes a little bit, the back end slid out. That was just running a little bit wide. Perhaps he's not sure how wide the car is yet, as Tom Onslow Cole has a real big look up the inside.
That was the battle for third place there. The white and black car of Matt Jackson up against another newcomer to British touring cars. These two both making their debut. Let's see how it began.
Yeah, Matt Jackson got a little bit of a tank slapper on. Tom sniffed an opportunity, but very difficult to stop these cars whilst you're braking on the bend, and it's bumpy as well.
But they did well, both of them, to save it and to stay out of trouble. But it means that Matt Neal has now closed right up onto the boot lid of the BMW of Tom Onslow Cole, and the reigning champion is beginning to make more progress. He's in 5th position currently, but Tom Onslow Cole will see him in his mirrors, and you know, one of Matt Neal's favourite overtaking places is coming up. It's into Clearways.
Well, it is, but we don't know whether he can do it in this car or not at the moment. He probably hasn't. He hasn't had much seat time. There's nothing like getting in the car in the race to see how it compares, to see how where it's quick and where it's slow compared to the other cars. And here we are with and on board.
Yeah, and you could see the BMW ahead of him got a bit sideways through Clearways, ran a touch wide, but in fact he wasn't really able to make the most of that. Now into Paddock Hill Bend. Notice how Matt Neal always goes into corners tighter. That was a good demonstration.
Yeah, that's one thing that hasn't changed, is Matt's lines and driving style. Carries a lot of speed in and turns in early.
Yeah, and you can see it very clearly here as the cars ahead going a bit wider into the corners to take their racing line. Back down the hill into Graham Hill Bend they come, then tight, tricky left-hander onto the back stretch. Jason Plato still the race leader, from Turkington in 2nd, Matt Jackson in 3rd, Tom Onslow Cole holding on to 4th just about from Matt Neal. Let's see what's been going on a little bit further behind. Jim Pocklington, I think, yeah, who had and that's what caused the Alpha to take to the grass. So hopefully no damage done to either car, and they've rejoined further down the field. But we're back with the leaders. Jason Plato in control, just under half distance in this first round of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, and so far so good for Sayat, running ahead of the Team RAC BMW of Colin Turkington, but it's the battle for third, fourth and fifth that we're concentrating on.
Yeah, we are, and that's because Colin Turkington's pulled away from this battle for third place, and I think that if anything, Turkington is actually catching Plato. I thought the BMW might come into its own after 2 or 3 laps when the tyres really got warm, and that looks to be the situation at the moment, but this is a great battle for third.
It is a great battle with new drivers, Matt Jackson, Tom Onslow Cole, but right behind them, the reigning champion, Matt Neal. Is this the changing face of British touring cars? The youngsters beginning to really make a name for themselves. Both of these youngsters champions in some of the support categories that are a part of the TOCA package on race day, and now they're showing their talent, their abilities in these BMWs. Matt Jackson's car run by the family team. They've put their own team together, whereas of course the orange Team RAC car run by one of the most experienced touring car outfits, that's WSR, and they are certainly helping Tom Onslow Cole develop his techniques in a touring car. We're now looking back though from race leader Jason Plato back to second place man Colin Turkington.
Yeah, that's the view out of Plato's rear view mirror. He's actually on the inside of the track because he's passing one of there it is, the BMW, and now Turkington's got the problem to get past. Can he dive up the inside, get past quickly? Yes, he can.
Yeah, absolutely. He's managed to nip through okay on the inside. You've just got to be a bit careful dealing with the traffic out here. There's some new drivers out there, and of course they've got to be wary to watch their mirrors, but that was a good job done, so no problems on that occasion. Matt Neal still closing in, still trying to get some pressure on Tom Onslow Cole, and he'll be hopeful that perhaps when they get into traffic in a situation like this, Matt Neal might be able to use his experience.
Yeah, well, it's Jim Pocklington getting out of the way quite carefully here. He's now staying well out of the way as Matt Neal, as you say, sniffs an opportunity. Well, he's given that a couple of taps, but he isn't going to move that big BMW with its rear-wheel drive stability as easily as he would have done a front-wheel drive car.
No, that's a very good point, and Matt Neal denied the chance to get past Tom Onslow Cole, but hello to touring cars for Tom, because a little bit of a tap there from the reigning champion. That's all part and parcel of this kind of racing. Tom himself, the champion in the Clios last year, well, he's been used to a bit of that kind of driving, so that shouldn't shake him too much. Not far behind them, Mike Jordan still running very well, and behind him, Tom Chilton. Chilton, who made that little mistake earlier on, hasn't really been able to fully recover from that, just seems to be struggling somewhat for pace. Meanwhile, down, we've got another car off. Is that Pickney or is that Marsh? I think it's...
I think that's Marsh, isn't
Marsh,
it?
right,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's Marsh up at Druids.
Identical alphas in the series. And off he went.
Richard Marsh.
Yeah, number 59 car, that is Richard Marsh. So I wonder if that's going to cause, well, it's going to cause a yellow flag. Whether they're going to call the safety car, they may well call the safety car. Matt Neal's got past Tom Onslow Cole. Look at this, Matt Neal making the move on Tom Onslow Cole. He's had a good run there, and now Matt Neal gains another position. That puts the reigning champion into fourth.
Well, this is incredible. How amazing would it be? I mean, this car's never even run a race distance, let alone this kind of speed either. Safety car waving past back markers. He'll be picking up the race leader in a second. But yeah, I mean, great result by, so far performance rather, by Matt Neal. He could even get a podium.
He could well get a podium here and carrying on like this. Meanwhile, the white and yellow BMW you just see there, which was about to be lapped by Jason Plato. Nice to see that car, because that is the first ever diesel-powered car we've seen in the British Touring Car Championship. He's been waved past the safety car, so the safety car wants to pick up the leader. But Rick Kerry from Ipswich driving the diesel BMW, and it's great to have that car in the championship. Of course, new fuels being looked at all the time in motorsport, and we'll see how well it gets on throughout the season. But under safety car conditions, it's Jason Plato who leads. Let's see how Matt Neal made the move.
Well, that was on board with Tom Onslow Cole, and you could see he was over the grass there, just on the outside, carried too much speed into Graham Hill, ran wide, had to back out a little bit, and that gave Matt Neal the run. Here we see it from the outside, and just watch. Oh, he actually put a wheel on the outside, as we saw earlier. Tom Chilton, I think it was, doing.
So a little bit of a rookie error perhaps there from Tom Onslow Cole, and Matt Neal was there to capitalise and take advantage and pop himself up into fourth position. So behind the safety car, it's Plato in the Seat, the yellow and silver colours. Behind him, it's Colin Turkington in the Team RAC BMW. Then it's Matt Jackson, then Matt Neal, Tom Onslow Cole, Mike Jordan running in sixth position, Tom Chilton in seventh. Jason Plato with the fastest lap in this race as well. So the Seat not only quick at the start, managing to get ahead of Turkington, but also fast on the laps as well. As we look further down the order there, Gareth Haldown in 13th place. He's ahead of Martin Bell, but Giovanardi all the way down there in 15th place, really struggling. Obviously had problems with his Vauxhall in this race. The recovery job being done there for Richard Marsh's car. We'll get that out of the way fairly quickly, and the safety car then will be withdrawn once again. So Plato looking good, keeping control of this race. He managed the restart, the earlier restart that we had, very, very effectively. Race distance is now 27 laps. The initial safety car laps, the initial 3 laps are added to the original race distance, but after the 3 have been added, then we're at a top number of 27. So we've still got 10 laps to go here. The laps under safety car will tick away, but we'll get some decent racing in, I'm sure, before the end of this first round.
Yeah, Giovanardi is still running. We saw him drop back alarmingly earlier on, but he is still running, but a long way back.
Yeah, so whatever the problems were for Giovanardi, hopefully they'll get it sorted out for races 2 and 3. But there you can see the positions once again. Plato from Turkington and Matt Jackson. We're under safety car here. Matt Neal has moved up to 4th position. Remember, Matt Neal started in 9th place on the grid in the brand new car, so that's a huge amount of progress for the reigning champion. He's ahead now of Tom Onslow Cole. Mike Jordan, who started in 8th place, he's now in a pretty solid 6th. First of the BTC cars, rather, spec cars. Tom Chilton behind him, then Darren Turner, of course, who was out of luck on the first lap. He's in 8th place. Solid 9th for Adam Jones and 10th for Gordon Shedden. Shedden in the 2nd of the Team Halfords Civic Type R's, the brand new machinery, and hopefully they solved that power steering problem he had yesterday. All set for the restart now. The safety car will be going into the pit lane, and Jason Plato gets on the power once again and uses all the horsepower from the Seat as he accelerates out of clearways, chased by the Team RAC BMW of Colin Turkington. Now Turkington on tyres that are fully up to temperature. Can he go on the attack here? Into Paddock Hill Bend, look how close Matt Jackson is to them as well, and Matt Neal also very, very tight in there in 4th place. Mike Jordan also got a chance to get up the inside of Tom Onslow Cole, and Mike Jordan gains a position.
Yeah, Tom Onslow Cole battled it out with Matt Neal into paddock and ran wide, got on the dirty part of the track, and that allowed Mike Jordan to have a run at him into Druid. So a few, just as you say, rookie mistakes coming from Tom Onslow Cole at the moment.
Only to be expected. This is high pressure stuff in the British Touring Car Championship. You've got to pick your moment. You've got to be error free if you're going to be successful, and that's what Jason Plato's doing at the moment. But look at the battle for 3rd. Is Matt Jackson going to hold on for his first podium in his first ever British Touring Car race? A debut with a podium finish would be astounding, but he's got Matt Neal hounding him in this magnificent new Honda Civic Type R. It's a unique looking car. They've built it over the last few weeks, and the team will be urging him on to try and get a podium finish here. Meanwhile, look at this, Gordon Shedden trying to get past Darren Turner. This is further down in the top 10, but Shedden was alongside for a moment.
Well, they've been side by side, but nearly half a lap, but it's Darren Turner's going to win this one because he's got the inside for Graham Hill. Shedden has to back out of it, and right on his tail, Matt Allison in one of the older Seat Toledos, the motor-based team. He's having a cracking debut in touring cars.
Yeah, it's great to see so many youngsters going well in this first race of the year on their debuts, a number of new names to watch out for. That was the battle for 9th we were watching. We're now back with the leading pack. It's still Jason Plato very much in control, but Turkington shadowing his every move. Then Matt Jackson focused on the fact that he's got Matt Neal behind him, still there side by side, and look at Matt Allison behind, and Shedden is through. Gordon Shedden gets past Darren Turner. It's Honda ahead of Seat, but Matt Allison in the older type Seat is trying to get past as well and nearly does it on the inside.
Well, the bosses at Seat won't like that, will they, if the older Toledo goes past the new Leon? It's a cracking race.
Matt Jackson just ran a bit wide out of Graham Hill Bend, and he's kicked up something, and it's Matt Jackson kicking up. He just ran a bit wide there, Tim.
Well, that clearly looks like oil, whether he's detached an oil line, broken the sump or whatever, but he's got a big oil leak, whether that's going to put a lot of oil on the track or not, but that isn't going to last long.
Well, that's a great shame for Matt Jackson. He's been driving so beautifully, but I just saw him from our vantage point just pop a wheel on the grass as he came out of Graham Hill Bend. As you say, it seems to have ripped an oil line or done something, but he's still running quickly, and Matt Neal has not yet been able to take advantage. Behind, watch Mike Jordan and Tom Onslow Cole still very, very close together. But Matt Neal now can sense an opportunity to get a podium with this brand new car. That would be such an achievement for the team.
That'd be huge. I mean, Matt Jackson, he won't know. The team will be watching this on the television. It seems particularly bad there, almost like it's an oil surge problem, and he's got a leak and it's burning maybe on the exhaust or something, the oil. It's clearly not dropping a lot of oil because there's no visible signs of oil on the circuit or on the camera lens or anywhere else. But do they allow the car to carry on and risk blowing the engine up, or do they pull him in?
Well, Matt Neal had a beautiful line through clearways, but again the BMW was very fast off the corner and he was frustrated in his attempt to get past. We'll take another little look at what happened to Matt Jackson that began this. This was out of Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, he's run over the curb there, and immediately you get that bit of oil. So obviously something has fractured a pipe or something, and he's got some oil there, but it looks like he may well be black and orange flagged. In other words, he needs to come in the pits because of a mechanical defect, which will put Matt Neal into third. But look at the close at the front. Look how close Turkington is to Plato.
Oh, this is good stuff, isn't it? But I feel so much for Matt Jackson. It's been a brilliant debut, but to have to come into the pits because of the car smoking away like it looks as though he's going to have to do, that is bitterly disappointing. Meanwhile, on board with race leader Jason Plato, still with the edge over Colin Turkington. That's 24 laps completed now as they cross the line, or onto lap 24 rather, out of 27, 23 actually in the book, and it's still the battle between the Seat and the BMW. The third place man Jackson still holding on despite that smoke coming from the back, and look, Darren Turner now being passed by the other Seat of Matt Allison, and now he's going to be pushed and squeezed by Fabrizio Giovanardi. There's contact, and now Gareth Howell dives up, and he's on the grass. Four wheels.
Well, poor old Darren Turner, he does he's got a puncture or broken drive shaft or something because that car's not steering properly. He just has diabolical luck, does Darren Turner. He's such a quick driver, but he always has bad luck. I mean, he had the good qualifying, got dumped up on that first lap, and that put him back in that situation. But Matt Allison dived past him at paddock with an aggressive move that got his car through, and the others just followed. Here we see it up the inside. Matt Allison's clearly inside. There's not a lot of room there. They have a little touch, and then of course Giovanardi tries to take advantage, and this is what's going to break the steering on the car. Here's John George having a tank slapper up at clearways, getting on the grass. Well, then you can't stop it, and bang.
The tyres stop it for you, so unfortunately that's what's happened to him. There's still more action. Somebody's just run wide out of Paddock Hill Bend. Didn't see who it was, but they've kicked up a lot of dust, and up front there's no change. And Matt Jackson's car's actually stopped smoking, I think. Now our timing screen still says black and orange flag for Matt Jackson, but he's not come into the pits. The car's stopped smoking. Oh, it's Allison who ran wide.
Well, he's lucky not to clip that barrier. That was close. He's sponsored by the Money Centre, but they might have had to get their money pile out if he'd hit the barriers there.
But he's lost all those places he made, Tim. He's thrown it all away.
Well, he's had a fantastic debut, and you've got to expect the odd mistake. We've seen it from Tom Onslow Cole and some of the other rookies, but they will be loving their baptism in touring cars.
Yeah, but I bet you that Matt Jackson is a bit concerned because he's been given that black and orange flag. He's not yet come into the pits. Now, the rules say if you are given a black flag, you must report to the pits within 3 laps of being shown it. Otherwise, you'll pick up more penalties, and that could even mean licence endorsement. So he's got to be very careful about this. Meanwhile, battle for 10th place. This is Fabrizio Giovanardi. He's in 10th, and he's trying to get past Gordon Shedden in 9th.
Yeah, seemed to have some gearbox problem coming out of that corner because he short-shifted and lost immediately a lot of ground to Shedden. So something wrong with the gearbox, I suspect.
So just going on to their last lap now. Race leader Jason Plato has this one pretty much in the bag, I would say. He's got a useful advantage there over Colin Turkington in 2nd place. Turkington just not quite able to put the Seat under pressure. 3rd place still for Matt Jackson. He's not come into the pits. 4th place for Matt Neal. 5th place, and pushing Matt Neal hard now, is Mike Jordan. So Jordan looking at a decent result here. Behind Jordan, it's still Tom Onslow Cole, who's dropped back a little bit under a touch of threat now from Tom Chilton in the lead of the 2 Vauxhalls. We saw Giovanardi in trouble, but coming up to the final corner, there's going to be no problems at all for Jason Plato. He's driven a perfect race. He started on the outside of the front row, got the power down, swept into the lead through Paddock Hill Bend, and it's Jason Plato who's going to take the first win of the season here at Brands Hatch. 2nd place goes to Colin Turkington, 3rd goes to Matt Jackson, 4th to Matt Neal, 5th to Mike Jordan, Tom Onslow Cole and Tom Chilton across the line as well. Adam Jones did a fine job. He finished in 8th place in one of the older style Seat Toledos. A good effort by him. Gordon Shedden finishes in 9th place, and Gareth Howell in 10th. Well, that's what Plato wanted, it's what Seat wanted, and he's delivered.
Yeah, we talked about it, didn't we, before the race? He needed to get in front of the BMW early on. Well, he did it straight away off the start line, which wasn't what we expected. And then he drove a typical Plato race, controlled the race from the front, no mistakes at all, and just had the pace to win. Didn't matter what Turkington threw at him, he just had enough to do it, and very, very professional performance.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Jason Plato. Of course, they'll have ballast on for the next race. As you mentioned earlier, Tim, that's the only race of the year that we don't see some form of success ballast on the cars. Next time out, he'll have ballast on board, he'll have the most, and then of course Turkington next up, and the others behind. I wonder if there'll be any kind of inquiry into Matt Jackson's 3rd place. I would have think.
Well, the only thing is that the actual smoke did stop. So the requirement, if you like, it's not like a bumper that's flailing. The requirement for it to come in wasn't there anymore. So maybe they'll argue the case and win that. With Chris Hodgetts behind him, former champion, he'll definitely argue it.
The result of the first race, Plato the winner for Seat, ahead of Colin Turkington for Team RAC. Matt Jackson, a brilliant debut, he finishes on the podium. Matt Neal in 4th, Mike Jordan 5th, ahead of Tom Onslow Cole, Tom Chilton in the Vauxhall, then Adam Jones, Gordon Shedden, and Gareth Howell completes the top 10.
Fantastic start, you controlled the race. Great feeling for the first one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, important. It was just important for us to get a good result, whether it be first, second or third. I was surprised I got one of the best starts I think I've ever had in a front-wheel drive car. But then again, we had to do that to try and beat Colin off the line with rear-wheel drive. But Colin's a little bit down on mileage in that car, so I'm sure he'll get those starts sorted out. But it was a good race, nice and clean, and I couldn't rest at all. I mean, I was pushing all the way to the end, and interestingly, the back markers could have caused a few problems, but they didn't in the end.
It was always going to be interesting to see how that went because we've got a bigger grid this year, but it seems to have worked quite well so far.
Yeah, it is. You just got to keep an open mind on it, and you know anything can happen. And what we must all remember is they're having their race too, and you know, okay, we're coming to lap them, but it's for us. It's our job to get past them, not necessarily their job to just pull out of the way. So we must remember that at all times. But yeah, good start to our season.
And the car handling well, running as you'd like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know from last year the Seat Leon really likes this circuit, and we've got a good back balance. We've tried a few things over the winter which are in the car now, so we've improved the balance a little bit. But certainly, over the last 2 days, everyone seems to be complaining of low grip here, and I think it's because it's the winter, hasn't been used that much, and obviously we've had quite a bit of rain over the last couple of weeks. But so far, the Seat Leon is pretty good round here.
Okay. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Diana. And let's hear now from Colin, if we can. Diana's going to get straight in there, I think.
Yep, absolutely. I'm with Colin. He's just having a quick word with Jason there. Disappointing start. What happened?
Yeah, it's my first race in a rear-wheel drive car, and I didn't quite get the start right. You know, it was a bit too much on the clutch and didn't take away so well. But you know, saying that, I'm pleased for myself and Team RAC. You know, it was first race for the BMW. Second is I think is a good position. So, you know, hopefully I can make the second start a bit better.
Well, you pulled it back, really. You finished second on the podium for the first race. Still a lot to learn, I'm sure, but a lot more to come.
Yeah, that's the exciting thing. You know, this is a brand new car, which we only got at the start of the week. So, you know, to finish second in our first race is great. So, we need to progress from here, and hopefully I can stay on the podium the next 2 races.
What was the condition like there out on the track, especially with the tyres and everything else?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. It's a hot day, and you know there was a few guys going off, and you know pulling gravel and dirt on the track, so it did get quite slippy at the end. But the old Beamer done well.
You happy with the performance of the car?
Yeah, delighted. You know, it's a real pleasure to drive the 3 Series. So you know, hopefully it can bring me to some more race wins.
Okay, well done, Colin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana. Of course, Matt Jackson, a brilliant third on his debut in British touring cars as well. So lots to celebrate here at Brands Hatch, but there's some more great racing to come on Setanta Sports, so don't go anywhere, stay with us, and we'll be back with more.
Off okay, but it will affect him during the race on braking and acceleration everywhere else.
Well, away they go away on their formation lap then. And let's just take a look at how they are lining up for this race. It's Plato on pole, the showman alongside the student, if you like, Colin Turkington, who's ready to deliver what he's learned in the last few years for Team RAC. he's going for the title. On the second row of the grid, we've got Matt Neal having inherited that position. Mike Jordan alongside him in effectively what Matt has won the championship in the last couple of years, the Honda Integra. On row number 3, we've got Tom Onslow Cole in the BMW, the second of the Team RAC entries, and then the first of the Vauxhalls, that's Tom Chilton. Always rapid around this Brands Hatch circuit, but they did have a problem with the differential in that first race. They hope they've solved it. Next up, it's Adam Jones. He's in one of the Seats, and alongside him is Gordon Shedden. He, of course, in the second of the Honda Civics. Then it's Gareth Howell. We spoke to him just a moment ago. He's back in 9th place on the grid, 10th position for Fabrizio Giovanardi, the Italian superstar world touring car driver in his second season of the British Championship. Chris Stockton, next up, he lines up in 11th place ahead of Matt Allison, well, in theory, but of course, as we know, Matt Allison will be starting from the back. He's exited the pit lane. He'll start from the very back. Martin Bell starts in 13th place. Erkut starts in 14th position just alongside. Then there's another gap where Nick Leeson should be, because he's now stranded at the side of the track. So Simon Blankley's on his own on that 8th row of the grid. Next up, it's the diesel of Rick Kerry. He's in the 130 diesel. Alongside him is a 3 Series BMW of Jim Pocklington, conventionally powered. Then it's John George in the Honda Integra. He had a bit of an off in that first race. Dave Pinkney has had to start from the back, so he's right at the back of the field. And then next up, we've got Darren Turner, whose car got biffed and boshed by various others out in that first race. Richard Marsh alongside him in the Alfa Romeo. And then we've got Jason Hughes there, I think, is on track. Yep, Jason is on track, but Fiona Leggett is not. And then right at the very back on his own, having suffered that, well, I say on his own, he's now got a couple of cars with him because they started from the pit lane. But Matt Jackson at the back, he finished in 3rd. But poor old Matt now has to carry the ballast for 3rd place, but he starts from the back of the grid.
Yeah, I've just been watching the cars on the warm-up lap, and they're going to have a choice to make when they get up to Druids, because the oil that was dropped is sort of right on the line, and they can either go inside to defend it and run the risk of running onto the oil, or go around the outside of it and be clear of it, but leave the door wide open on the inside. So going to be some interesting choices made on that first lap up into Druids.
Good, well that makes it fun. There is the line you're talking about. It does affect how they're going to be coming into the corner, and it's still very slippery despite being covered in dust that absorbs the oil very effectively. But the first few laps, it will still be very, very slippery. It's a bit like hitting ice on a normal road when you hit that stuff.
Yeah, and if you're 2 or 3 cars back and people run it, you can't see anything either.
No, in the dust cloud, that doesn't help. So coming into his pole position then is Jason Plato. I noticed the car, when he did that practice start, sort of swung down towards the pit wall, which is a classic thing here on the camber of the start.
Yeah, that was a practice start to put some heat into the tyres. The real start, he'll try for less wheel spin, so it shouldn't happen so dramatically.
But remember, Colin Turkington has the rear wheel drive BMW alongside. He's on the outside, and if he gets a good run into Paddock Hill Bend, he may well be able to do what Jason did to him in the first race of the day. So we're getting all set. There's still a few cars to move into position. 25 cars. It's a tremendous grid of British touring cars lining up for the second round here at Brands Hatch. We're all set for the lights to come on and for round 2 to get underway. Red lights on. Let's see how long the hold is. It's a quick turn, and away goes Plato. It's a good start. Here comes Turkington on the outside with rear-wheel drive, but it's not enough, and he's going to have to slot into 2nd place. Matt Neal slots into 3rd. Tom Onslow Cole in 4th in the other BMW, and then it's Mike Jordan tucked in behind him with Tom Chilton close in the Vauxhall, and I think we've got them through Paddock Hill Bend safely. Now they're on the dust over the oil, and this could cause problems, and Chilton was a bit wide, trying to go around the outside, and Druids there.
Yeah, and he got away with it as well. It was a good move by him. I think it was Tom Onslow Cole actually slid a little bit wide, lost some drive coming out, and Matt Jackson did start from the pit lane.
So Matt Jackson did come out, but he has got some work to do from back there. Mike Jordan has got Gordon Shedden breathing down all over him as they come up to clearways. Plato leads Shedden, trying to get up the inside of Mike Jordan. They're being very well behaved. Gareth Howell's in the gravel. Oh, can he get it back from there? It's a long way round clearways in the gravel. He's going to lose so many places.
Yeah, I think he may have just got a touch there, just on the critical part, the apex of clearways. We'd have to see that again, but it certainly just eased him wide. There was no return, but at least he's kept it going.
So Jason Plato looking good at the moment. Battle for 2nd place though, with the reigning champion Matt Neal putting Colin Turkington under pressure. And then it's the Vauxhall Vectra of Tom Chilton, and we're on board with Matt Neal running in 3rd place as we come down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Nothing really to choose between the leading quartet or the leading 5 cars even. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Mike Jordan, who's running in 6th position, and despite the weight ballast on the Seat, Jason Plato in control, but Matt Neal closing on the BMW as we come through the long right-hander at clearways. and past the fans out there on the banking, basking in the sunshine now of a glorious afternoon here in Kent.
Yeah, we saw this in the first race, didn't we? Plato had a little bit of a measure on Turkington on the first couple, 2 or 3 laps, and then Turkington came back at him in the middle part of the race. So we'll have to see how it goes. And at the moment, it looks like Turkington's holding up Matt Neal.
Yeah, he's having to fight quite hard. You're on board with Matt Neal. Look how close he runs to the back of the BMW. We'll yet to find out how solid these cars are, because they're both new to us in British touring cars. And I can tell you that just behind these two, it's tight, because behind Matt Neal, Tom Chilton in the Vauxhall is very, very close as well. So Matt Neal, there he is. Look, there's Chilton in the big Vauxhall Vectra. It's a big car, long wheelbase, but they're so happy with the way it's been going in testing. He did have a problem in that first race. The car looks better now.
Yeah, it looks good at this early stages. Oh, Mike Jordan trying to get an Olaf on Thomas O'Cole there, but I think the BMW has good traction coming out of the corner, and he can't get close to him.
No, that's right. So Jordan has to sit in behind once again. Jordan seemed to struggle on the opening lap or so there, but now the car back on the pace once again. Plato definitely easing away in the lead of this one. Look at Chilton having a little think up the inside, but that tempts Tom Onslow Cole to have a look. And meantime, Mike Jordan will try and take advantage of that as they come out of the hairpin. Can't do it. Jordan switches back to the inside. No, he's not quite close enough to make the move on Tom Onslow Cole. Good racing going on, and still Turkington defending second place from the Team Halfords car of Matt Neal, with Tom Chilton tucked in there.
Yeah, there's an absolute freight train of touring cars behind, and there's a touch there. Matt Neal's hit the back of Turkington. Turkington's held it together. Matt Neal's had to back out of it. God knows how everyone didn't run into the back of each other there. That would have been an insurance claim on the back man, wouldn't it?
It certainly would, but somehow Turkington stays second. But look at Onslow Cole. Onslow Cole now's got the run to attack his teammate, and he's running around the outside, but now Matt Neal's got the inside line. Oh, he's put himself out of position there, Onslow Cole. Well, this is a wake-up call, and now he's left the door open for Tom Chilton as well. Not quite. He does shut the door on Chilton.
Tom obviously got the run on them, and look at this queue of cars behind. This is classic touring car racing.
It is tight, isn't it? Mike Jordan's now dropped down the order. He's got Fabrizio Giovanardi behind him. Shedden is making good progress, and Gordon Shedden, I think, is just easing past Tom Chilton a bit further up. Great drive from Shedden on board with Giovanardi as he gets past Jordan.
That was Shedden's been fired off. He's going to rejoin at the end, right at the end of clearways, join on the start-finish line again. He won't get penalised for that, because he's lost more time, obviously, as long as nobody hits him at the back. He's lost more time than he gained. But what a gaggle of cars. Something had to give there. They're making this race easy for Plato, aren't they, by fighting behind? Look at the gap he's got. Well, there was a touch there with Chilton. Yeah, just on turning, and that speared him off.
It's a fast corner, that left-hander, isn't it? There was absolutely nothing he could do there except straighten it up, tried to turn in, bang, off he went. And as you say, did a big shortcut, but he tucked in behind all the others he was racing with, so he gained no advantage. They'll allow him to continue. Plato leads then. Shedno out. Well, I say he was going to continue, but he's out. He's stopped. Nowhere.
Yeah, I think the steering must have been damaged, because the way that car suddenly snapped straight was a steering breakage, I think, on the left front. And clearly he can't steer that car. Well, we're seeing the first signs of vulnerability in terms of strength from the left front of the Civic. And the other teams will be quick to notice that. And if they get into side-to-side rubbing, and here we nearly get it again, they'll know that Civic's vulnerable.
Yeah, that was Tom Onslow Cole attacking Matt Neal for third. We've got all the orange cars together. The Team RAC car of Colin Turkington, who is struggling. Whatever they've changed for this second race is not working, and he's effectively holding people up. But that's his duty now. He's got to try and hold on to his position. He's got Matt Neal tucked in behind, then his own teammate, Tom Onslow Cole, who's working pretty hard. Then behind them, the two Vauxhalls of Tom Chilton and Fabrizio Giovanardi. And then it's Mike Jordan. Darren Turner's come up well. He's now into 8th position. That's not a bad effort, because he started down in 21st.
Yeah, and Adam Jones is having another very strong race in the Toledo, the Aircool sponsored car. He's having another strong race, staying out of trouble, very good pace. His first time in a competitive front-wheel drive car.
A couple of different groups you've got to concentrate on. Now this one's the battle for second. Matt Neal had to think about going down the inside, decided against it when Turkington shut the door, but now Turkington's got to be careful. He might allow an overlap, not quite. He makes sure of shutting the door up into the hairpin. Matt Neal has nowhere to go, and meantime behind them I can tell you that Vauxhall of Chilton is on the grass trying to get alongside He was trying to get alongside also Cole behind him there. We didn't quite catch it on this on-board picture, but we just had another view from the commentary box window. It's very tight between these two. There is Chilton, and for a moment he had two wheels on the grass.
Yeah, he tried to go around the outside on the basis that the three cars in front of him were all going to queue up on the inside and he'd have enough to get all the way around the outside. He nearly made it, but Onslow Cole just eased him onto the grass. That BMW comes off the corners really well, doesn't it? Noticed out of clearways there and out of Druids. The traction, the drive off the corners, really good.
It is tremendous, and it gave Onslow Cole just a little chance, a little hop over the cliff. Oh, this is brave. Where's he going? He's going way out wide. He's trying to go around the outside of Matt Neal as they come into the hairpin. Can he make it round the outside here? No, he's squeezed out. They push him wide, and Tom Chilton takes advantage of that. And now Chilton will try and attack Matt Neal. Onslow Cole hits Matt Neal. He hits Matt Neal into a spin. It takes Chilton onto the grass.
They're three abreast. They're three abreast.
This is
Onslow
amazing.
Cole's got two cars on his right. Who's going to turn in first? Here comes Turner. Matt Neal's been punted as well.
Yeah, he's got contact there, and Jordan's off too. Mike Jordan off. It's all gone crazy in race number 2. They behaved themselves in race 1, but they couldn't contain themselves in race 2. They're off all over the place.
Yeah, and in his eagerness to get back on the circuit, Mike Jordan has bashed the front splitter into the ground, and that'll make him a retirement, I should think.
Well, that really all came alive then, didn't it, with that section through Paddock Druids and then Graham Hill Bend. Tom Onslow Cole very much in the middle of all that, but the race lead is still being held by Plato. Now let's just take another look at some of what was going on.
Yeah, this is coming down the hill, and this is, I think, on board with Matt Neal, yes, who gets knocked sideways by Onslow Cole, was it? And then sideways, and everybody comes past him then.
Yeah, and then they came into Surtees, and there was a touch there, I guess, between Matt Neal and Mike Jordan. I'm not quite sure. But let's just have a look down. That's where the initial contact was made. Matt Neal got sideways, Chilton ended up on the grass, and then Matt Neal was slow, and there wasn't much more he could do. But look at Tom Chilton now, he's alongside Tom Onslow Cole. This is for third place. The Vauxhall of Tom Chilton trying to get alongside, and behind them is Darren Turner. Darren Turner started 21st. Oh, Darren Turner's hit Onslow Cole. Off goes Tom Onslow Cole in the BMW.
Well, Darren Turner's been having an absolutely storming race. He started 25th, and he was right up 7th. Well, he's going to try and get out the gravel. He's either going to bog it down. Look at that. He's got some rear-wheel drive there to get out.
He might make it, you know. He's still creeping out. Yeah, he's going to do it. Well done. Onslow Cole makes it out of the gravel trap. He's back in this race, but boy, he has had an action-packed race, hasn't he?
He has, and there'll definitely be a bit of discussion about that, because it was a tap on the rear from Darren Turner. I mean, Darren Turner was trying to follow through the gap that was made in front of him, and by Chilton going through. This is on board with Tom Onslow Cole. I think he's got Chilton on the right-hand side. Yeah, that goes through, and behind him, just there, was Darren Turner trying to get through the gap as well.
Great pictures, great sound, and how did he miss the barrier on the inside there? He only just
It was luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see what's happening now. It means that Plato still leads this race, but Turkington in second, Chilton now in third, with Darren Turner up in fourth, Adam Jones fifth, and then Matt Neal, who of course was in the middle of some of the action earlier on. He's now dropped to sixth. Giovanardi's in seventh in the second Vauxhall ahead of Chris. Docton's going well, and there now you can see Mike Jordan, who's now a lap down, unfortunately. Tom Onslow Cole just going past him, and Mike Jordan in...
He's retiring,
yeah.
He's going in. He had that front splitter. You can't see it there, but when he went across the grass, it deranged the front splitter, which has got all the radiators and everything in it. So he's a retirement. So Plato with a 6-second lead now. There's Adam Jones again in the Toledo in front of Matt Neal now. This would be a great result for Adam Jones if he can finish here.
No, absolutely right. You're on board with Jason Plato. He's just lapped a car, and he's got a huge lead. His lead's almost as big as the lead you had in the Porsche race yesterday, Tim. He's miles ahead.
He's got a bit of work to do. I had 18 seconds.
All right, fair enough. He's got a bit of time. We're only just a halfway distance. Colin Turkington still running in second position in the BMW, which has definitely struggled in this second race. You're on board with Giovanardi. He's running in seventh, and just ahead of him there is the reigning champion Matt Neal in the new Honda Civic, and very, very tight as they come into clearways. But as you mentioned, it's Adam Jones ahead of them, driving superbly well here. Jones, I don't think, really got an opportunity to show us what he could do when he raced in the series last year. Now he's in a much more competitive car.
Yeah, he's in a good car. It's actually an ex-Tom Coronel car that raced in the World Touring Car Championship, but with the team that ran it, GR Asia, who are still running Seats in the World Touring Car Championship. So a very good team. As here we see Matt Allison making an overlap on
Chris Stockton, I think it was.
Yeah, and I think he'll get that because he had the inside.
Yeah, good move from Matt Allison. He went off in the gravel in the first race, if you remember, but he's recovering now, and that's put him up into 8th place. The Diesel 1 Series BMW just being lapped by the leaders now. Darren Turner coming through. Fine effort from Darren Turner to be running in 4th place. Plato picking his way through the traffic nice and cleanly, and when you've got a lead of this margin, you don't have to rush the overtaking manoeuvres on the slower car, so it's a perfect situation for Plato, and it just shows you that Seat have got some great race pace. It means the car is consistent throughout the race distance.
Yeah, it has. I mean, when we put them, basically, unless RAC and BMW have changed their setups dramatically, which I don't think they would have done particularly, their car hasn't seemed to handle the weight anything like as well as the Seat has done.
That's right, they've got ballast on board now, and Jason Plato doesn't seem to be too affected. Back on board with Giovanardi. This is the race that's going on for 5th place, effectively, because we've got Adam Jones in 5th, Matt Neal in 6th place, and Giovanardi in 7th. So this is going to test Adam Jones's resolve, but he's a hard racer himself. He may not be as familiar to touring car fans because of less experience than some of these guys, but you know, Adam Jones was racing Alonso in karting. Look at Giovanardi, he gives a tap there to Matt Neal and almost had a chance to get alongside.
Yeah, Matt Neal's been practicing his car control skills, hasn't he, so far? His front-wheel drive car control, getting on the throttle. He had a big sideways one earlier when he got nudged. Oh, and there's a puff of smoke. There's a puff of smoke from Chilton's car. I think that's actually as a result of the tap he did on the back of Matt Neal. That's actually Giovanardi's car, sorry, smoking his Vectra, but that probably isn't serious.
Hopefully the car will survive. We've still got a few laps to go here, and just looking down, Pinkney's got damage on his car. I think there was a bit of contact with him and Onslow Cole a moment ago as they came out of Graham Hill Bend, but Pinkney was sort of trying to block the exit of the corner a bit. And there was the contact.
Yeah, you heard it, didn't you? The camera actually caught the sound. It's obviously broken the rear suspension, the rear trailing arm, because that car isn't going straight.
Yeah, it's not.
That would fail its MOT.
It definitely would. He's not going much further, is he? So Plato continues with this huge lead in touring car terms. 2nd place for Turkington, 3rd place for Tom Chilton. I guess something to watch there is whether the Vauxhall, the big Vauxhall Vectra of Tom Chilton, is going to come under threat from the yellow and silver Seat of Darren Turner. Turner, who's made this tremendous progress from 21st place on the grid to now be running in 4th position, and this is what Seat need. It's all very well, as Scott Dennis said to me after the first race, it's great to have a win, but we want both cars scoring well. He said this will be a test for Darren. Well, I think Darren has certainly responded to the test brilliantly.
Yeah, this is a bit of a race he will have really enjoyed, because he started at the back with nothing to lose, and he's absolutely flown through, including getting fastest lap of the race as well.
So that's an extremely good effort. He's not carrying ballast, of course, so that will help him in that sense. Plato busy checking his gauges, checking the instrument. He's in a lonely lead, but he'll be quite happy about that at the moment. 4.2 seconds ahead. Meanwhile, further back, there's still some good racing going on for 5th place, and Matt Neal is having a go at getting 5th from, yes, he is down the inside. Matt Neal takes 5th place from Adam Jones, and that was the reigning champion showing how it can be done, and now Giovanardi's going to try and follow him through.
Yeah, it's good racing. I'm probably sensible of Jones. He obviously didn't get a good exit from Clearways on that lap, but he didn't fight too hard. He knows that he's got to finish these races. If he finishes this race in the top 10, which he looks like he will do, he's going to get the chance to even move forward on the grid for the final race.
So Adam Jones, the Solihull-based racer, certainly showing great form here. Giovanardi gets close to him as they turn into Clearways. Let's just take a look at what happened a moment ago.
Yeah, Adam Jones was passing the back marker, and so keen was he to get past that he left his braking too late and ran wide. And that's why he had a bad exit.
So that was basically what set Matt Neal up for the overtake, which he completed into Paddock Hill Bend. And Adam Jones still stays ahead of Fabrizio Giovanardi. Race leader Jason Plato beautifully under control here, and the Seat, which certainly has always performed well at Brands Hatch, has shown that kind of pace once again here. We saw it last season for both James Thompson and Jason Plato, and it's come again here at Brands. The times in qualifying not as quick as we saw the latter part of last year, but it doesn't seem to matter. From Sayat's point of view, they've got great race pace, and he's easing away. 4.4 seconds the lead last time he came around. And could this be Jason Plato's year? He was the champion, of course, back in 2001. On initial showing, he's obviously going to be right up there again, but as we've seen in previous years, there's a long way to go in a 30-race British touring car season. Turkington still 4.4 seconds behind as they came across the line. Chilton in third place. This could be the first podium finish for the new Vauxhall Vectra. Turner behind him, though. The gap just under a second between those two. And then further back, we've got Matt Neal running 5th, Jones in 6th, Giovanardi 7th, Matt Jackson in 8th, by the way. And that's a good effort as well. Matt Jackson, who finished 3rd in the first race, but then had to start from the back. Jason
Sophie Plato there, enjoys. She's getting used to this at Brands Hatch, seeing her hubby do the business.
Yeah, she's obviously very happy with the way he's going at the moment. Just a quick note, though, I was talking about Matt Jackson, Tim. He's up to 8th place now. That's pretty good from the back, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he started at the back. So did Matt Allison, who's in 9th. So they've both got themselves into that crucial top 10 and a chance for a grid result when it's reversed.
Yeah, let's just remind, there is Matt Jackson now running in 8th place. He finished 3rd in the first race, but was excluded for ignoring the black and orange flag. Remember that the top cars in this race will have their grid positions reversed for race 3, but we don't know how many will be reversed. It'll be between 6 and 10, and it'll all depend on the lottery, if you like, that takes place after this race. So between the top 6 and the top 10 will have their grid positions reversed from their finishing positions, but we won't know until the end of the race just how many. So what we do know is Plato, if he wins this race, will be at least 6th on the grid for the 3rd race of the day, but showing the sort of form he has today, who would bet against him getting on the podium again. He leads quite comfortably here in the 2nd race of the day. He has seen the fastest lap of the race go to his teammate Darren Turner, but this is definitely what the Sayat team have been looking for. New team and manager Jonathan Haynes looking after things for Sayat this year.
Yeah, they change their team managers every year, it seems, but it seems to be working this year. The start was very good. Here we've got Gareth Howe having a go at Urquhart. He's obviously, Gareth Howe had that mishap through the gravel at the start of the race that dropped him well back, and he's trying to fight his well back, so this is a fight for 11th.
Yep, Erkut Kızılırmak, the Turkish driver, back for some racing this year. He's putting in a full season. Martin Bell at the back of this group in the privateer BMW, 13th position he's running in, but he'd love to try and move up. He's actually lapping a car there, so he would like to get past it quickly because it's actually dropping him from the battle that he was a part of with Gareth Howe and with Erkut. So Martin will be getting a bit frustrated. I gather Kelvin Burt's been driving that car a little bit recently, giving him some tips on how to get it going well, and Martin delighted with the progress that they have made. So race leader still Jason Plato, still Turkington, Chilton and Turner running top 4, and then it's Matt Neal in 5th place. Matt Neal, who of course looked as though he might be on for a podium in the early stages of this race, but then got involved in a little bit too much door banging, especially down at this section of the track, and it dropped him down the order. He hasn't really been able to recover since then. But when Jason comes around this time, he will be going on to his final lap.
Yeah, the real battle is going to be for 3rd place on this last lap, because Darren Turner is only 0.7 of a second behind Tom Chilton and lapping nearly half a second faster.
So onto his final lap goes Jason Plato. He looks to be making it 2 out of 2 here today, and he'll be very pleased with that. It's all about scoring points, and last year in September here at Brands he did exactly the same thing. He won the first 2 races of the day. So Sayat has once again shown that the car is superb around this 1.2 mile Indy circuit. It's a very particular track. You've got to have a well-balanced car for both slow and fast corners, and Sayat have that. Turkington, though, still in a solid 2nd place, and it does look as though Chilton is going to be able to do enough to hold on to 3rd position here. So for the 2nd time today, Jason Plato comes into the last corner with a good advantage over everybody else, and it is going to be Plato to take 2 out of 2 to start the season in style. Maximum points going the way of Jason Plato and Sayat. 2nd place goes to Colin Turkington for Team RAC. 3rd position to Tom Chilton, and that's the first podium finish for the brand new Vauxhall Vectra. Darren Turner, though, making the most progress in the race. He started 21st, he finishes in 4th. Matt Neal finishes in 5th place ahead of Adam Jones. Great run from Adam Jones, his best result in British touring cars to date. Giovanardi 7th, Matt Jackson 8th, Matt Allison in 9th place. Chris Stockton finishes in 10th. Well, he's getting used to this feeling, isn't he, today? Jason Plato But remember, this is Brands Hatch. We've seen this sort of form from Seat in the past, and in the third race of the day, he certainly won't have pole position.
No, he certainly won't. I mean, he'll hope that obviously only 6 positions reverse, so won't start quite so far back, but it could be as bad as 10, in which case... So next to him, no.
Many thanks for joining us here on...
A bit out of control. I think I'd be a bit worried about my car if that much fire going on.
How would you like your burgers done?
Incinerated. I think this bloke, I don't quite know what he's going to do with this. He ain't going to stamp that one out in a hurry, but hopefully he won't set fire to anything else. So, Jason Plato coming back into the pits, and the Seat team do have much more to celebrate this time, because not only the victory, but 4th place as well. Confirmation of the result, Plato taking victory quite handily from Colin Turkington in 2nd, Chilton in 3rd place, and Darren Turner in the 2nd set, up from 21st on the grid to 4th. Matt Neal finished 5th ahead of Adam Jones. Fabrizio Giovanardi was 7th for Vauxhall. Matt Jackson a fine 8th ahead of Matt Allison, and 10th place went to Chris Stockton. So we've had 2 out of 3 races for the British touring cars here at Brands Hatch, but there'll be a reverse grid later on. Perhaps he'll have got that fire out by the time we come back, because we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us on Setanta Sports.
To Setanta Sports coverage of the first round of the 2007 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, and we're just taking a look at Jason Plato, who makes it 2 out of 2 wins. He is going to be one happy man. There goes the victory hat. Let's go down there, because Jason Plato is now down there with Diana Binks.
Jason, many congratulations. 2 out of 2 so far. A good day.
It is a good day for us at the moment. You know, again, it was key to get a good start, and we managed that. But of course, we had the slight advantage being on pole. Just that extra car's length helped, and I think had it been side by side, then Colin would have out-dragged me into the first corner. But it was all about then just trying to look after the tyres, and I had a little power steering problem on lap 2 where I thought I'd lost my power steering. Steering stopped working for half a lap, and then it came back again, but a little bit intermittent. So it wasn't all plain sailing, but good result for the team, and now we'll see what we draw in the reverse. But the main thing is just to consolidate our position now. We've put 2 big scores in, now we've got to make the 3rd one count, and at least we go home leading the championship.
What were the conditions like out there for this race? Were they a bit different? Was it handling any different?
Well, to be honest, my car, we got a better balance on my car. We changed a few things to account for the success ballast, the 45 kilos that went on. But over the last 2 days, the circuit is getting better and better. And it hasn't obviously been used very much over the winter. All the rubber's been washed off with rain. So certainly my balance is improving, but of course the pace comes off because we've got some weight on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I need to draw 6 now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lottery now for this next race, so you'll just have to take it as it comes then.
Absolutely. We've had a very successful weekend so far, and now what we must do is make sure we don't mess it up by being a bit impetuous or trying any daft moves. Now it's time to consolidate and think, okay, we've done a good job this weekend, let's go home with some points.
Well done. Thanks. Speak to you later. Okay, and you're staying with me down here, I think, in the pits. Thank you. Tom Chilton, many congratulations. How's your day gone so far?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle this morning and yesterday as well in qualifying. This is a brand new car. 2007 running the Vectra VXR this year, and this is a bit like a test session. We're slowly setting up the car as we speak, and that session then we went a little bit further in development. We're still looking for this ultimate sweet spot in the car. We're getting close every time we go out. I've still got a couple more changes I'm going to do for the 3rd race again. But I'm very happy. Our 2nd race with a new car, and we've got a podium, so we're chipping away at it.
There's a bit of crashing and banging going in that race though.
There was a lot of door rubbing, but as long as nobody's hitting each other from behind hard and you're just rubbing door mirrors, and that's fine. But it is a non-contact sport. But it is very close out there, and I enjoy racing.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm with Colin. It's a bit of deja vu down here.
Yeah, it's great for Team RAC. A 2nd podium. It's going to be very tough to beat Jason today. He's driving well and he's got a quick car, but there's one more race to go, so I might have a chance then. But you know, the car is going very well. You know, the first few laps I was under a lot of pressure then from Matt and a few Vauxhalls, so you know, I just couldn't get back to the racing line to get a break. But once I did, you know, again there was really good pace in the BMW, but Jason was long gone by then, so maybe the next time.
It looked like he
I think you're right. I mean, he got stuck in a little bit, didn't he, at paddock? But I think he saw an opportunity and it just turned into a little bit of contact. But it was a very strong race and pulled him through from the back, and just the result really that Seat wanted.
Yeah, and of course what we've got at the moment is Seat leading the Drivers' Championship, they're leading the Manufacturers' Championship, and they're leading the Teams' Championship, courtesy of their results so far today. And it's up to everyone else to see what they can do about that. Team RAC pretty well up there too, thanks to Colin Turkington's solid results, and Tom Onslow Cole, the youngster for Team RAC, who was solid in the first race, got involved in the second race with one or two incidents and ended up being pitched into the gravel trap at Paddock Hill Bend. Did finish the race, but there he is. He's got a lot of work to do from back there.
Yeah, staying remarkably chilled until the race actually starts. He was commenting earlier that he should have felt more nervous, but he didn't. But then drove a good race, and he's finding his feet. And for a 19-year-old, I think he's doing a great job.
Okay, so let's take a look at how they will line up for the start of this third and final British Touring Car race of the day. It's Fabrizio Giovanardi, who won here last September on pole. Adam Jones alongside, a little bit of an unknown to see how he gets on at the front end of the grid. Matt Neal lines up on the second row, the reigning champion in the Honda Civic Type R. This new car that is certainly showing some pace this weekend. He's got the Seat of Darren Turner alongside, and the Seat has won 2 races out of 2 so far today. Next, we've got Tom Chilton in the other Vauxhall. He lines up in 5th place on the grid. Colin Turkington, who's twice been runner-up today, will start the BMW on the outside, and he reckons he might get that starting technique a little better this time. And then behind them, of course, we've got the man who has won the 2 races so far. That's Jason Plato. Jason Plato, who will be starting from 7th place on the grid, and he's got Matt Jackson alongside him. Matt Jackson, who is one of the star privateers, he's in the BMW. Behind them, we've got Matt Allison and Chris Stockton, another couple of names coming into it more recently. Stockton did a couple of races at the end of last year, but Matt Allison having his first run. Gareth Howell's got more experience himself. He starts on the 6th row of the grid with Erkut Kizillimark, who's very happy to be starting from 12th position. 13th is Martin Bell in the BMW with Simon Blankley in his first ever British Touring Car meeting alongside. And then behind them there is Tom Onslow Cole, so that's where he's got to come from. Row number 8 of the grid. John George joins him on that row. Behind them we've got Richard Marsh in the Alfa Romeo, Jim Pocklington in the BMW. Then it's Rick Kerry in the diesel-powered BMW with Jason Hughes in the bioethanol-powered MG. David Pinkney starts well back on row 11. Mike Jordan could come through from there, but also watch out for Gordon Shedden. Nick Leeson will not be starting this race. I spoke to him. They haven't got another engine to replace the one that blew up. Fiona Leggett starts from the back of the grid. And that's how they line up for the start. So that's going to be all good fun and games to see exactly what happens here. But we've got lots to look forward to as we prepare for race 3 in the reverse grid, which will certainly liven things up. Fabrizio Giovanardi, one of the toughest competitors out there. He will be very, very difficult to pass. Thanks very much, Louise. We're all set to go then for this third race of the day. What a fantastic prospect we've got here with Fabrizio Giovanardi, one of the most successful touring car drivers in the world, and he's got pole position in this new Vauxhall. Can they really take their first win with the new car on their debut? Well, I tell you, Tim, it's going to be tough to pass him.
Well, it certainly will. He's got all the experience. I remember back to when the Vauxhall Sport Hatch was launched, and Vauxhall had all their guests at the dealers to watch the debut, and of course it didn't work out very well. But they haven't done that again, and they'd be delighted with a win for the Vectra.
Well, he's not going to have it all easy. Adam Jones alongside him. Well, he's a bit of a rookie. He did do quite a few races last year. He's a youngster. He's in the Seat Toledo, a car that Seat ran themselves a few years ago. Of course, they've now moved on to the Leon, the car that Jason Plato has been so successful with today. But let's not forget that starting on the inside of the second row is the reigning champion, Matt Neal, in that brand new Honda Civic Type R, which I think has exceeded our expectations, Tim, because that car's only just been finished as well.
It is incredible. The team are really pleased. He may have new highlights in his hair, but he's driving like an old professional.
Well, watch out for Darren Turner on the second row with the Seat as well, the reverse grid, top 7 reversed, and it means Jason Plato starts 7th, and he's got maximum ballast. Can he really make it 3 out of 3 from that position on the grid? Well, if he can do that, then we're really in for a treat here at Brands Hatch. It's the 3rd race of the day, round 3 of the championship. The red lights come on, and they're quickly out, and who's going to be away? Well, it's a good start from the second row, Matt Neal. Matt Neal, the reigning champion, what a start! Adam Jones goes into second place. Terrible getaway from pole man Fabrizio Giovanardi, and now the BMWs are trying to come round the outside through Paddock Hill Bend.
Well, now we really are going to have a race, aren't we? Matt Neal, who came in with no expectations at all, a car that hardly turned a wheel, has shown true class. Now he's leading the race. He's got Adam Jones, the guy behind him, a fired-up Giovanardi who blew the start, will be pushing his way through.
And Colin Turkington's up there as well in the Team RAC BMW in 3rd place. Adam Jones running 2nd. Giovanardi trying to come back on the BMW there into Surtees, couldn't do it. All this, of course, is allowing Matt Neal to make a little bit of a break. Well, this is just the perfect answer for Matt Neal after struggling to get this car ready. Now we're on board with the former pole man, but he made a terrible start, and John George has gone off.
Yeah, he's going off backwards, not sure where that is, probably Surtees, I think. But let's get back to the leaders. No real damage there if he can get out of the grass. Matt Neal's done a storming first lap. He's got a nice little lead. Adam Jones doing a remarkable job in 2nd early in the race.
Yes, he is. And now look at this battle between Turkington and Giovanardi. Turkington on the inside, trying to squeeze the veteran Italian out of the way, and he manages to stay ahead of him. Turkington desperate to score points. And remember, he's ahead of Jason Plato. Plato's down in 8th place at the moment. Now, Plato won the early 2 races, but at the moment, this could be good for Turkington to actually take the lead in the Drivers' Championship if it was to stay this way.
Yeah, the BMW takes a few laps just to warm its tyres up, and Turkington's just about getting into the zone, having defended very hard on Giovanardi, but there's the safety car out. We're going to have to close all the bunch up under the safety car as they start this 3rd lap.
Well, that's going to certainly make things different, and Matt Neal's advantage, of course, taken away immediately. That was a brilliant start by Matt Neal. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, watch Matt Neal, the 3rd car, and watch how Adam Jones comes across, fortunately sees Matt coming, and he just gets through that gap.
That was brave from Matt Neal, but he had to go for it. Now, I think we had a spin down here. Let's have a look. Somebody lost it in a cloud of smoke, and that was John George, of course. That's where we saw him go off. And I think maybe the safety car was brought out to deal with that. And now they have dealt with it. We should be able to get the race underway once again. Let's just see what Matt Neal's doing. Safety car, yeah, lights are out. Safety car is coming in. And look, Matt Neal's maintained a big advantage. Interestingly, Adam Jones did not stay with him, and this has given Matt Neal a big lead.
Well, the safety car stayed out for barely a lap. Probably shouldn't have been scrambled in the first place. Matt Neal sensibly kept up his pace, and it strung the whole field out.
Well, that is a bit of a shock, but Adam Jones in a clear 2nd place now. He's going to have to watch out for Turkington behind. Matt Neal leads then in the brand new Civic. Then it's the Seat Toledo of Adam Jones. It's not a works car. It's run by a top independent team, but certainly it's outreaching its expectations, that car in 2nd place at the moment. 3rd place for the Team RAC BMW. Then the 2 Vauxhalls. That's Giovanardi, the first of them, and Tom Chilton, the lad from Reigate and Surrey, not too far from this Brands Hatch circuit. He loves the place, but can he find a way past his teammate? Then it's Darren Turner and Matt Jackson. Jackson, one of the stars of today. He finished 3rd in the first race, was excluded for not obeying the black and orange flag, but there's no doubt that he has set his mark here today. Matt Jackson in the white and black BMW.
Yeah, he's going great guns. He had a small problem in the 2nd race with the one you talked about where he finished 3rd, where he missed a shift. Look at him up behind Plato. That's up behind, yes, up
Turner. It
up
is,
behind
yeah.
Turner.
That's right, that's for 6th place, but nonetheless he's really going for it. A bit further behind you can see Plato. Plato's carrying the ballast, of course, so a little bit harder now perhaps for Plato to do what he did earlier on. He wants to try and close up onto this group, but so far he can't manage it, and Matt Jackson actually has the fastest lap in the race. Number 48 there, the white BMW. You know, this car was a car raced by World Touring Car Champion Andy Prio. Andy's actually here today. I don't know whether he's been offering any advice, but Matt Jackson, well, he's just driving brilliantly. A youngster who's come into touring cars and showing some of the experienced hands how to do it.
Yeah, the current Seat Cupra Championship winner, won that last year in 2006. He's been desperate to get into touring cars. He's done it with his own team as well.
Yeah, his dad runs the team. He's got great support as well there from Chris Hodgetts, former British touring car champion himself, and through Paddock Hill Bend he still keeps the pressure on. That's the battle for 6th. Up front, remember, it's Matt Neal. The silver and red car is the car in 2nd place. That's Adam Jones, who, as we say, he raced a bit in the Lexus last year, didn't really get any really competitive runs, but he's showing what he can do. You know, Adam Jones raced against Fernando Alonso in his karting days, and he's showing that kind of form here today.
Yes, he even shared a Porsche with me in a 24-hour race at Silverstone, so I know firsthand the guy's very fit, got good stamina, maintains a good pace, excellent driver.
Well, Colin Turkington behind him will be working that BMW to see if he can find a way past. And the challenge that we were expecting from Fabrizio Giovanardi not coming quite so well. And Chilton ran wide there, I think.
Yeah, right out onto the dirt on the exit of Clearways. That'll put dirt on his tyres. He lost a couple of places as well. He's going to be slow into paddock.
So Chilton's dropped down to 8th position now, and that means that he's been passed by Darren Turner and Matt Jackson and Jason Plato as well. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, Turner got up alongside him.
Yeah, Turner got up underneath him, put him out onto the dirty part of the track, and he just couldn't physically turn right before he ran onto the dirt, and Matt Jackson slipped through as well.
Well, Tom was saying to me earlier, Tom Chilton, that you know, one of the professional moves is you squeeze people out when you get alongside them. He had it done to him that time. He knows what's involved, and he won't blame the other driver involved, Darren Turner. He knows he shouldn't have put his car in that position. That's the battle for 2nd. Adam Jones still 2nd. Turkington in 3rd place. 4th position is Giovanardi, looking more threatening now. Perhaps as the tyres get a little warmer, you may see a bit of a change in relative pace between these cars.
Yeah, that's right. The BMW should be coming into their own now. The lap times between the front cars all very, very similar, but Turkington was a fraction quicker, just a 10th quicker.
Good dice going on here for 10th place between Chris Stockton and Tom Onslow Cole. Tom Onslow Cole back up to the outside, trying to take the line, but I think he's got it. Oh, that was a moment ago, and he did take that place. But look at this battle for 2nd, and now Giovanardi's going to have it. No, he's not, but he has taken Turkington. Turkington's lost a position there. Adam Jones holds on to 2nd. Giovanardi now up to 3rd. Turkington back to 4th.
Well, Turkington was on the outside, wasn't he, on the grass, coming round Graham Hill Bend, trying to go around the outside of Adam Jones. I don't know what started off, and Giovanardi snapped away and took the position away.
Well, Turkington won't like that. He'll want to try and come back as quickly as possible, but then he's got to watch his mirrors for the Seat of Darren Turner as well. Adam Jones in the silver and red Seat Toledo, driving superbly well here. Now can he fend off a 7 times touring car champion? Fabrizio Giovanardi's won at every level of touring cars around the world, and now you wouldn't expect someone like Adam Jones, perhaps less experienced, to be able to fend him off, but I don't know. I think the sort of driving skills and performance we've seen from Jones today, he'll relish this opportunity to keep Giovanardi behind.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I mean, Giovanardi isn't exactly all over the back of him all the way around the circuit. It seems like Adam Jones is keeping that inch perfect. There, he clips the apex just right there, gets a good exit, good power, and not a lot of difference between the two cars on the power coming off Clearways.
Back onto the straight then. Let's see whether he can come across the line and get a little closer. Off has gone Turkington. Turkington has gone off. Oh, now what a change that makes to potential finishing positions and the championship order. Look in the background. Did he get a tap from Darren Turner?
Oh, it looked a little bit like it, didn't it? It looked at, oh, and he's just edged it into the gravel there, and then he can't get going. Look how the gravel's pulled the front, tugged the front in. Well, it could well have been contact, we don't know, but we'll have to see. But that may well scramble the safety car, because that is in a very dangerous place.
Yeah, safety car's on track, I can see it from our vantage point. So this is all going to close everybody up together. They're still racing until they get to the line, remember. The safety car is half a lap ahead of those guys. And Giovanardi, this is still the battle for 2nd. They'll race to the line here before they back off for the safety car. And then, of course, they'll slow it all down now. And Giovanardi, I think, will back off here. He's not going to do anything silly. He's in a great position, potential podium finish anyway. And now it all calms down for a moment and we can have a think. Matt Neal leads, Adam Jones 2nd, you're riding with Giovanardi for Vauxhall in 3rd, Darren Turner now 4th for Seat, Matt Jackson 5th in the private BMW, and then Jason Plato in 6th.
You know, that was probably just what Matt Neal didn't want. He hasn't got the opportunity this time actually to stretch the gap out. This time they're all going to close up behind him, so he needs to get a good restart. It probably won't be long before that BMW's moved with Colin Turkington's, but this time it will come all together.
Well, it's all happening here at the moment. Matt Neal is the race leader from Adam Jones, and we'll be right back with more action after the safety cars come in. So, you can see that Colin Turkington there just trying to get himself back in the car and hopefully be able to, well, he's not really going to be able to rejoin the race. It's all over from that point of view, and it's a huge disappointment. 2 solid second places. That was not what he needed, a non-finish. And he's going for the title this year, Tim, no doubt about it, and you can't afford too many of these.
No, it's one of the problems with the rear-wheel drive car. When you do get a tap, if that's indeed what did happen, and the car suddenly snaps sideways, in a front-wheel drive car, you've often seen the drivers bury the throttle and bring the front back round into play. But in a rear-wheel drive car, you can't do that. If you did, it would just make the car spin like a top. So all the driver can do is hope that it grips without spinning. So in a way, you can't salvage a situation like that as quickly, although it is much harder to destabilise a rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah, well, that's all part of what he's got to learn, I suppose, about racing a rear-wheel drive car. But it will all have to be learnt as quickly as possible so that he doesn't lose too many points in situations like that. But it certainly looked like he had a bit of a tip. The question is, how much alongside was Darren Turner? There's Tom Onslow Cole. And we can maybe have a look at the start of Tom's. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, Tom, of course, started at the back. So watch this. Great launch, good revs, good drive. He's just steaming up the inside. No one's closed the door on him. Past Matt Allison there. An absolutely great start. But sometimes the doors just open for you like that. He got a good start. He could so easily have been blocked as well. But actually, it all opened up for him. He gained several paces. He's got a run on the bunch up into Druids. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect, and that's how it all worked for Tom Onslow Cole. Now, the lights are out on the safety car. They will be racing once again, once we see them back past the start-finish line, and they're going to keep them all pretty bunched up, I think, this time. They're really going to try and make sure that the whole lot are closely bunched. Last time, of course, Matt Neal made a big leap.
Yeah, the race director is in radio contact with the safety car driver, it's Scott Stringfellow, so he would have told him this time to slow it up, especially as they come through here. You see the passenger there looking behind to check how close the bunch are.
Well, heading up towards Clearways here, and this is where, of course, the safety car will release them in just a moment. Matt Neal really keeping the pace nice and steady. He's not going to make that big jump that he had last time around, so he might have his work cut out, although it's Adam Jones who's tucked in behind him. Here we go, we're racing once again. The safety car heads into the pits, and it's reigning champion Matt Neal who will lead them across the line. But look how well Adam Jones is going in second place, and also on a charge Fabrizio Giovanardi. And Adam Jones is really attacking here. He's not settling for second place. He wants to win a touring car race for the first time ever in his career, and he's going to keep the pressure on.
Well, he's certainly announced himself here, hasn't he, this weekend? As you say, last year, some outings in the Lexus which really didn't show his true talent, but he's shown everybody at the first race of the year what he's capable of.
Yeah, he's Matt Neal, though, has just got this under control. Beautiful driving again from Matt Neal. You talked earlier, Tim, about, oh, and we've got a car, Chris Stockton, I think that is, off on the grass. Yep, Chris in the Lexus there. Nick Leeson, his teammate, sadly not in this race because of the engine blowing up. Oh, and look at this, Giovanardi now giving a bit of a rub, a bit of a tap to Adam Jones. I think he's taken second place. He's got alongside him, and surely the Vauxhall now with that opportunity. But no, Adam Jones is coming back. It's a fast engine in that Seat. He can't outbrake him around the outside, though, and Giovanardi takes second.
Yeah, but that was interesting, wasn't it? That Toledo was very quick on the straight.
Very good indeed, and a few teams will be keeping an eye on that, I should think. Matt Neal, though, still in front of this one. He'll now see that it's the Vauxhall of Giovanardi, the green, red and white colours of the Italian, who's chasing him down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Darren Turner running well in the Seat in fourth, and then it's Matt Jackson in that BMW, who's had such a strong debut to British touring cars.
Well, Giovanardi
back to Brands Hatch. We've got the whole thing going on. The safety cars come back into the pits, and Matt Neal is now leading. But look how close Fabrizio Giovanardi is. He's moved into second place. Poor old Adam Jones fought for it, but the Vauxhall got past.
He did, and he closed up very quickly in the space of a lap on the back of Matt Neal. I don't know if Matt made a little mistake, but Gio caught him very quickly, and Giovanardi looked very strong into that final corner Clearways, where he did that manoeuvre on. Look how close he is there, using all the curves.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be looking for a little opportunity, maybe just with a touch, into Clearways.
So how tight can he get? How close can he get to the back of that brand new Civic? He runs quite wide over the curb, but a lot of cars do that, and it doesn't really cost them any time. Matt Neal is really learning this car as he goes. Giovanardi's had a bit more time with the Vauxhall. They've done more testing. They had the car ready a little earlier. They've been to Spain. They've had a bit extra mileage, and Giovanardi will be hoping that that works to his benefit. But look at the white and black BMW Matt Jackson. That is still the car to watch, perhaps. He's chasing 4th place. He wants to get past Darren Turner. He's a man who's won the SEAT Championship, the support series to touring cars. Now he's got his big chance, and it looks like he's been in it for years, but that was a mistake.
That was right on the edge. He had half of his rear wheel across onto the gravel and just managed to save it.
He came back in just in front of Jason Plato, and Plato currently running in 6th place. Chilton in the other Vauxhall is currently 7th. Gareth Howell in 8th. Tom Onslow Cole is in 9th place. Matt Allison rounding out the top 10, but we're riding on board with Jason Plato. That sun getting a little lower along the back straight now. Always makes turning into the left-hander here. Surtees a little tricky, but Jason Plato not quite close enough to get alongside Matt Jackson into clearways, which is one of the favourite overtaking places for the more experienced drivers. As we come through, the rest of them filing through there. Chilton chased by Gareth Howell, the Bromley man. He's tucked in there in 8th place. Tom Onslow Cole in the other Team RAC car, still in the race. He's in 9th.
Yeah, Jason Plato's sort of playing the championship situation here. He's had 2 good wins so far. He's in the bunch. He's looking at maybe some action in front of him, gaining him a few places, but he's looking at the point situation.
Down the hill they come then into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Just look at how they hop over the curve, but that's a natural part of how they set the car up.
Yeah, and if we stay on board, watch how he closes through here and on the brakes. He's very good on the brakes. He'll be looking. See that? There's the little tap. Didn't quite do it at the right moment to push Matt wide, but that's what he's looking to do. If that contact was slightly later, closer to the apex, Matt would have had to step out a little bit wide, and then Gio would have been trying to get down the inside, but he is very strong at that part of the track.
So that's all part of being a touring car driver, is it, Tim? The judicious use of the tap?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Well, it's Matt Neal who's controlling it at the moment. Giovanardi really chasing hard, though, and this is a fantastic racing prospect in the remaining part, because these two are pulling away a little bit from Adam Jones, who's still in a superb 3rd place ahead of Darren Turner in the SEAT, and then Matt Jackson in the BMW, Jason Plato in 6th place, Tom Chilton in 7th position. But it's Matt Neal, champion for the last 2 years, who now has his mirrors full of another man who's never won the British Touring Car Championship, but he's won just about every other Touring Car Championship going, and again that's where he closes up.
Yeah, very strong on the way in there. Does work the front tyres very hard when you do that, because obviously you're coming on tyre line with a lot of speed, and the car's still got to change direction, and as you can see he loses a little bit on the exit, but it's clearly where the car is strongest.
It is, but into Paddock Hill Bend, this is the daunting dropping downhill right-hander with a compression in the bottom. The stomach hits the floor. Great onboard shots there, giving a feeling of what it's like. It's like a fairground ride, that section of track. Again, both of them neat and tidy. Look how much curb used by the Vauxhall in 2nd place, but Matt Neal keeps it tidy despite all the pressure on behind. And you know, they're all beginning to queue up behind that group now. Adam Jones still in 3rd place in the air-cooled SEAT, and then behind him it's Darren Turner and still Matt Jackson and Jason Plato, sensibly not in trouble. Oh, we've got more problems. John George and Erkut have had it coming together.
Yeah, that's at the top of Druids. Looks like maybe Erkut's gone into the back, I'm not sure, but there's damage on the front of Erkut's car. I'm not sure where the damage is on John George's car. Here we go. Oh, it was on the exit. There you go. Little push and then another tap just for good measure. But John George did well to hold that, actually.
Yeah, he floored the throttle, got the front wheel spinning, pulled him straight again and got him out of trouble. So we're on to lap 21 out of 27. Still a little way to go here. And Matt Neal sees them all queuing up behind him. 2nd place for Giovanardi, 3rd for Jones, 4th for Turner. Then it's Jackson, then it's Jason Plato, who is very aware that Turkington is out of this race and that actually he still can extend his points lead, if you like, over Colin Turkington in this very early stage of the season. Long, long way to go, but every point does count, and Plato will not want to risk a sensible 6th place finish here, I wouldn't think. Matt Neal, meanwhile, just is going for it, and Adam Jones runs wide, puts a wheel on the grass. Darren Turner alongside in the SEAT, and you know Matt Jackson might be able to follow him through.
Yeah, he's going to lose 2 places. Matt Jackson giving the assist down there. He wasn't going to back off. He helped Darren Turner push through. Just the slightest mistake from Adam Jones, slight lack of loss of concentration, and that was enough.
Great stuff, and you know, that's what touring cars is all about. Now Jason Plato having a think about getting up the inside. Oh, that's clever. Just positioning the car very well, leaning on Adam Jones. No damage done, but there was nothing Adam could do about it.
That's exactly what Plato wanted. He just waited and waited and waited till he got an opportunity. When Adam Jones was vulnerable because of being passed, bit of dirt on his tyres from going wide at paddock, that was when he pounced immediately.
Well, Well, Adam's having a good lesson of what it's like to run up front in touring cars. I'm sure we'll see him do that more often, but we're now seeing the more established front runners, except perhaps the man in fourth. That's Matt Jackson in the white BMW, because this, remember, still his first meeting. And look, he's putting Darren Turner under pressure here. He wants to take third place. He feels he was robbed of third place earlier on today in race 1 when he was excluded for not responding to the black and orange flag. The gearbox actually holed itself, got the oil pouring out of the gearbox. He didn't come in the pits, and he got put to the back of the results. Now he would like to earn himself a genuine podium finish again.
Yeah, and if there's one thing this race has shown, we're in for a classic touring car season. Plato may have got the points advantage at the moment, but he doesn't have a huge car advantage. Matt Neal's, the team dynamics, doing a fantastic job. That car never turned a wheel until 10 days ago, and he's leading the Vectra and Darren Turner's car with only 9 kilos of difference between them.
It is remarkable how they build all these different cars to the same rules and end up with such competitive machinery where they're all separated by just the odd tenth of a second on each particular lap, and they're all racing hard as well. Still, Matt Jackson has a little think about getting past that silver and yellow Seat. Again, there's not enough space, and Turner doing a good defensive job behind them. We've still got Jason Plato, Adam Jones, Tom Chilton and Tom Onslow Cole. So Tom Onslow Cole now is in 8th place. He's ahead of Gareth Howell, who's running 9th, and Mike Jordan, who's in 10th. And you can just see them heading down the hill.
Yeah, Mike Jordan and Gareth Howlett is in the other motor-based car, running 9th and 10th, and just getting onto the back of this bunch, hoping that something's going to happen in the last 3 laps.
Yeah, they came from quite a long way back, so they've made good progress, but they're running out of laps. They'll be coming around to go on to the 25th of 27 laps, and so there's not a lot of time left for people to make moves here, but you know, there's plenty of time to make a mistake. Matt Neal still leads. Giovanardi, here comes Matt Jackson, tries to make Darren Turner go into Paddock Hill Bend wide, but Darren's very wary about that.
Yeah, he's just driving the sort of middle road to defend enough, but without compromising his time. Back on board with Tom Onslow Cole, right up behind Chilton. There he comes into shot on the right. Tom trying to get a wider line in, get a good drive out, put Tom under pressure down the hill.
Yeah, meantime, Mike Jordan at the back of this group has got past Gareth Howell, and they've all just been coming up against the diesel 1 Series BMW. Just saw it there, they're all lapping the diesel there, and Rick Kerry doing a good job of keeping out of their way. A lot of development work to go on that car, of course. It's the first time it's been seen on the British tracks, but great to have it out there as part of the touring car contingent. Right, let's see what's going to happen here then as they come around to cross the line. This time 25 laps completed. We go on to lap 26 out of 27. We really are beginning to run out of time, and amazingly it's looking very good for Matt Neal. Leads from Giovanardi in second. Jackson now in 3rd place ahead of Darren Turner.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but somehow he's got through, and that's fantastic. And he's actually looking like he might even have a challenge on Giovanardi on the last lap. He's still got a lap and a half to go, and look at him, the race is closing because Giovanardi's dropped off the back of Matt Neal, and very quick through there. Matt Jackson, look, he's all over him.
Yeah, this is great stuff from Matt Jackson. That white car, very little sponsorship on it, a family-run team. But what a tremendous drive this is from the young man. We've always seen his talent in some of the support classes, and just hope that one day he'd get this opportunity. He won the Seats last year, gave him a lot of prize money, which has gone towards this season. And now look at him, he's challenging for 2nd place. He's taking on a 7 times touring car champion. Can the young British driver find a way through here? He's on the final lap. He really is running out of time. It's looking good for Matt Neal, but what can Matt Jackson do?
Well, what a shot that is on the last lap. Matt Jackson trying everything. He's already got a podium.
Down the hill into Graham Hill Bend, then it's all about Matt Neal, and Team Halfords are going to take their first win with the brand new car. But who's going to be second? Is it going to be Giovanardi? Is it going to be Matt Jackson? It's going to be tight. There's our race leader, car number 1, Matt Neal, the reigning champion. He's won the last 2 titles. What a weekend it has been for Team Halfords. Those boys have worked so hard. The battle for second continues. I think Giovanardi's probably done enough, but Matt Jackson definitely up for driver of the day with his performance. Matt Neal wins, 2nd goes to Giovanardi, 3rd to Matt Jackson, 4th to Darren Turner, Jason Plato in a solid 5th. Useful points for him. Adam Jones finishes in 6th position. Then Tom Onslow Cole in 7th, Tom Chilton 8th, Mike Jordan 9th, and Gareth Howell in 10th. But I have to say, well done to all the boys at Team Halfords. This car only turned a wheel just over a week ago, and they've won at their first meeting.
Well, I mean, there's Steve Neal and all the boys on the crew. I mean, they must feel ecstatic because last year they knew they had the best car. The wins were expected. They came here just looking for some top 6 races. Matt Neal's risen to the occasion. He's got better in every race, and that is a brilliant. I can't emphasise how good that is because it's not down to the weight. He did it on sheer performance.
Yeah, that was remarkable. I never expected to see Matt Neal win a race here today, and I know we've got several other new cars out there. Vauxhall have done brilliantly too, let's not forget. Giovanardi had a second, Tom Chilton had a third, but they had the car a little earlier, they were a bit more prepared, and they're all going to be a bit worried about the pace that Matt Neal has shown.
They will be, and I think they'll be disappointed that they didn't get more out of this weekend because the big thing for Vauxhall was to start off the year with getting lots and lots of points. Certainly Plato's done that, he's got good points, but I really share with you the driver of the weekend, no question, Matt Jackson.
Yeah, a star for me as well, Tim, I have to say, on his debut in British touring cars. Matt Jackson winning effectively a second podium. I mean, he was excluded from the first one, but he had earned it, and now he's earned himself a second one coming from further down on the grid. Brilliant effort from the youngster. But for the results, no doubt about it, Matt Neal takes the win in round 3 with Giovanardi in second place. Matt Jackson, a fantastic third. Darren Turner doing a solid job for SEAT with 4th, and Jason Plato backing up those 2 wins earlier with 5th. Adam Jones was solid in second for so long. He'll still be pretty happy with a 6th place finish. 7th for Tom Onslow-Cole, 8th for Tom Chilton, 9th Mike Jordan, and in 10th place, final point there for Gareth Howell and the local Motorbase Performance team. Just outside the points was Matt Allison, Martin Bell in 12th place, Jason Hughes was 13th, Dave Pickney got a result and finished in 14th place, and Fiona Leggett, I'm glad to say, finished the race in 15th despite all the damage that was done to her car earlier on. So that's a bit of a reward for the guys at Kart World Racing as well, that they managed to get her car back out and she's got a finish in the bag as well. But as you said, Tim, I think the wonderful thing that we've seen here today is the competitiveness of all these different cars.
Yep, we've seen great unpredictability, we've seen some real surprises, certainly in the pace of that car. Take nothing away from Matt Neal, he's done a brilliant job, a champion's job, but he wouldn't have expected that, but that's been a surprise. Plato, not such a surprise. We expected him to stack up points, 2 very good wins, and boy will that team celebrate. But it's the new people, it's the Matt Jacksons, the Adam Joneses, the Matt Allisons, all these guys that have really surprised us, and that's what's going to make this season so good.
Let's get down to the pits and hear from Louise, who's with Mike Nicholson.
Mike, your thoughts on that race?
Well, pleased and disappointed, you know. I mean, Fabrizio always makes fantastic starts and unfortunately got a bit too much wheel spin off the line, but fought back beautifully. I think the most important thing for us, and no doubt for Steve at Honda, is that the cars are on the pace. You know, they're brand new cars, first race, and we have got the pace there. That's important.
It has been a bit of a disappointing weekend up till now, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know, we test a lot in the winter, and you come to a race meeting and it's never the same. You learn all sorts of different things, and we've had 1 or 2 problems with the car we didn't suss out in practice and testing in the winter, but we'll take it away and we'll make sure that's right for the next round.
OK, well, I want to grab a word, if I can, with Steve Neal, who is obviously going to be a very happy man. Steve, come on in and let's have a word with you. I mean, what a result.
Unbelievable, I tell you. I've got a dry mouth at the moment, I think, and a wet eye. So really, heart rate's been that high. I think it's higher than Matt's in the car. It's just unbelievable.
Just tell me what this means to the team, because you really have had your backs against the wall getting these cars ready, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we have, unbelievably. And all the pundits prior to the race were forecasting we wouldn't be in the running until the second half of the year, and we got no chance. And, well, boys, just remember what Matt said. Watch this space. Turkish delight.
You are a bit choked up, aren't you?
I am totally. It's unbelievable. I would say that's his best drive of his life.
Well, let's see what he thinks about it. Matt, come on in and join us. Matt, your dad says that was the best drive of your life. Would you agree with it?
Well, they put a new clutch in the car, and I said I think I like it. So now. Oh, just thanks, mate. Good effort. I'm a bit speechless. You know, to come here and to win on the first time out. You know, when. Yeah, fabulous.
Any worrying moments for you?
About 25 of them, every lap. It's just, I was counting the laps down, they seemed like forever. And then when Fabrizio got into second, I thought, oh no, here we go now. And when the pace car came out, I thought, oh no, here we go now. It's just a mixture and roller coaster of emotions all the way through.
How much of a challenge did you think Giovanardi was going to be? How worried were you that he might get past you?
He's a tough customer, you know. The Vauxhall's flying at the moment, and you know, he's a multiple champion, international champion. Not that I like him.
He's a bit of a joker as well. Come in and have a word with us. Your thoughts on that one? You must be pleased with that result because it has been a tough weekend so far, hasn't it, Fabrizio?
Yeah, it's true. The beginning was really, really bad, but in the end I scored points, so it's important to stay with the top driver to fight for the championship. It's just the first race, so we can expect a good season.
What happened at the start?
I had a problem with the clutch, and unfortunately the wheels start to spin, and I had to release the gas, so I lost position. Something happened.
Tell us about the safety cars. How did they affect your race?
Yeah, for luck, there was the safety car twice, so for Matt it was quite difficult to gain gap between him and the other cars. So, but in the end, was good manager of the race, and you win.
So that actually worked in your favour, the safety cars?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a word with another.